G'day everyone, Eric here. Hasbro Australia, I swear, JB Hi-Fi buys so much product for them. Yet for the second time now, a specific Transformer was not included in the dispatch with their wave mates, instead waiting for the next assortment to be dispatched. But this isn't about my recent Skybite troubles, it's about the prior toy that gave me this grief, the Fallen. I have no particular fondness for the character of the Fallen, nor the concept of the 13 Primes. But a cool design is a cool design, and the Fallen is most certainly a cool design. Standing 19.5 centimeters in robot mode, the Fallen has a primarily black, gunmetal grey and dark purple deco, accented by hits of bright yellow throughout the toy. This is part of the Fallen's iconography, glowing like a medieval furnace and perpetually being on fire. Said glowing accents really make the toy. The base deco is dull, lifeless, and uninspiring, while the hits of yellow draws the eyes. Its striking makes an impression, and makes the Fallen visually interesting. Of particular note is the face, which is a fusion of a knight's helmet, again going back to those medieval inspirations, and the Decepticon insignia. The Fallen being the first Decepticon. The faceplate also has that glowing furnace effect, making the Fallen unique and stand out amongst the Decepticon ranks. The Fallen is very much a design of its era. It is a character that was conceived back in 2003 when dark and edgy was the style of the time. But I feel that style is timeless. It is still effortlessly cool and works. There is a reason why Shadow the Hedgehog is still such a popular character all these years later. On this day, I see clearly that Edge has an audience. The Fallen's robot mode is very clean. While he has a backpack made of the front treads like many Tank Megatron toys, it's much smaller and more compact. It doesn't draw attention to itself. The Fallen's proportions overall are very well executed. Everything looks to be of the right size to have presence, and his limbs sit in the appropriate places. The Fallen also has a really nice tactile feel to him. Not only is he of a decent size and reasonably weighty, but his plastic all feels far denser than what is typical of Transformers today, feeling closer to a mid-2000s toy. He also lacks the hollowness that has become endemic of the brand, only having the smallest of gaps in his upper arms and thighs, but it's so negligible that you have to actively go looking for it. Due to how he converts, both the Fallen's calves and forearms actually have built-in covers as they both open up and close during conversion. The Fallen gives a sense of quality surpassing even Legacy Megatron from 2022, which was a great figure in terms of plastic quality and conversion with minimal cost-cutting gaps. The Fallen just feels like there is more budget going into the toy. It's very noticeable and a pleasant change of pace. The Fallen's articulation is pretty much what is expected of a modern Transformers figure, close enough to that of a 6-inch action figure, just lacking the ab crunch and double hinge joints in the limbs, but in a surprising twist, due to a series of hinges in his shoulders for conversion, he has butterfly joints and quite deep ones too. While it can look completely off at certain angles, it is a welcome addition that will help with certain poses. His hand is also able to open and close. I've never understood what the point of this is, but it can do it. The Fallen's joints overall have a good tolerance to them, tight but not too tight, he just feels good to move. If you're enjoying today's video, be sure to like and subscribe for more Transformers content. I'm aiming to hit 5,000 subs by 2026. Tell me if you enjoy this review format and want me to do more reviews in the comments. Also be sure to check out YouTube membership for exclusive perks, Discord channel, and videos. The Fallen comes with a slew of accessories, starting with the Requiem Blaster. Named after the combined form of the Space Minicon team from Transformers Armada, the Requiem Blaster is the Fallen's variant of Megatron's fusion cannon, which can also expand into a longer form, then combined with a barrel piece to make it even longer. The jokes write themselves, but the way it's intended to be used, compressed, works rather well, and the size of the weapon really makes an impression. It's a big cool gun without feeling oversized. The Requiem Blaster is primarily purple with a gunmetal grey tip, but carries on the yellow energy hits from the robot with a line across both sides, giving the impression of energy or fire surging through the weapon. On one final note, the handle of the Requiem Blaster can flip up. This is allegedly for conversion, but it's not necessary, and due to the look of it, it's meant to clip onto something, but I'm not sure what. The aforementioned gun barrel is his second accessory. This can be used as either a handheld weapon to extend the Requiem Blaster or be mounted onto the toy via 5mm ports. The default position is rather awkwardly over his left shoulder, but looks much better mounted on the back in the style of the cartoon Megatron. You can even get it into the same position as G2 Megatron over the shoulder, though it lacks the size necessary to convey power. It unfortunately cannot be mounted to the Fallen's hip in the style of the original Megatron toy. It's also the only part of the toy that looks cost-cut. It's hollowed out. But I'll take this over the robot being hollowed out. Moving on to melee weapons, starting with the Spark Fuser used in the 2015 Robots in Disguise cartoon. This comes in two pieces, the head and the shaft, and if I were more familiar with the later seasons of Robots in Disguise, I'm sure I'd have more to say about it. The second melee weapon is a machete with a silver blade and black handle based on a polearm type weapon also from the 2015 Robots in Disguise cartoon. The smaller size makes it more similar to Megatron's sword from the original Japanese toy, and it can be combined with the Spark Fuser to make an even longer polearm, but I can't say I care, and the melee weapons as a whole feel tacked on. The Fallen's final accessories are 4 flame effects made from the same soft PVC plastic used for blast effects. I would not keep them on the toy for any extended amount of time for precisely that reason, as if soft PVC starts breaking down while in contact with ABS plastic, what the toy's actually made of, it will melt the ABS. But that aside, these are great, and honestly, necessary accessories. As I said earlier, the Fallen is perpetually on fire. This gives him flame effects for the shoulders, and more importantly, in line with his depiction in the comic book, behind his head. The smaller effect pieces can also be used with his melee weapons to make it look like the hilts for both the Spark Fuser and Machete are on fire. Really cool accessories, just be mindful of the plastics used. Getting to the conversion, I was a bit intimidated when I first removed the Fallen from his box. The torso in particular looked complicated, and I was worried I might have another Studio Series 07 barricade on my hands, where it doesn't matter how much I like the design, the conversion is a nightmare. Fortunately, the Fallen is complex in the right ways, where it's actually a lot of fun. There are a lot of steps, lots of moving parts in the one section, again the torso, but nothing feels fiddly, and the clearances are there for what it's asking of you. The thighs can be a bit scary, that is a tight connection, but as long as you're being smart and don't pressure the plastic, it's fine. By the time I was ready to convert him back to robot mode, it was second nature, and now I've done it a fair few times back and forth. As I said, it's a lot of fun. It's a well-designed toy. In vehicle mode, the Fallen is a Cybertronian tank, and quite a nice looking one at that. Silver paint-ups that were on the back of the robot mode now take center stage on the treads, providing a nice colour break on the front of the toy. While the design at its core is an H-tank, through clever use of the robot chest and panels from the legs, it's filled in to become a proper tank. It's actually rather interesting in that, while it's a traditional Transformers design for the front of the alt mode to become the robot chest, the Fallen achieves this in reverse, where the chest becomes the front of the tank. The cannon is very large and looks intimidating. It has presence. It can rotate, something that isn't always achievable with tank transformers, and does so on an axis that, while not central, isn't so far back that it ruins the aesthetics of the toy when engaged. The tank has small wheels underneath, and the Fallen is surprisingly fast. He's zippy. You can also use the flame effects intended for the shoulders of the robot mode on the turret to give a similar effect, literally being on fire. But I honestly think the tank may wear them a little better. Unfortunately, the tank mode also contains my only real major issue with the Fallen, and it's about his cannon. The turret is made up of the robot arms, which is par the course for a lot of tank transformers. However, the cannon only plugs into the shoulders of the robot mode, having no other connection points to the arms, and it's not a particularly secure connection. While it does allow the cannon to elevate, it's too easily dislodged, and the result feels unfinished. While it would be giving up the ability to elevate, making the cannon fully secured into the turret would have made this entire section of the toy feel a lot more stable. The melee weapons combine with each other, then with the small fire effect, and can be attached to the side of the tank for weapon storage. This is fine, standard affair for a lot of toys where the weapons can't be effectively hidden within the robot mode, but I would be careful. The tab on the spark fuser is painted, and the storage could very easily scrape the paint off. The Fallen is a really good figure that I think is a must own. It ticks all the boxes. It has great aesthetics, the conversion is highly enjoyable, and the toy itself feels like a quality item. Even that issue with the turret is very far from a deal breaker. Off the top of my head, and even accounting for it being Cybertronian, the Fallen is probably the best mainline tank transformer probably ever. With the character meaning nothing to me, I can't get too excited over it, but when taken as a design and a product by itself, the Fallen is fantastic. To me, this is the standard of how things should be. A very well designed transformer. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like and subscribe for more Transformers content. It helps out a lot. I'm trying to reach 5,000 subscribers by 2026. Till next time, friends, this has been Eric from Toys Down Under, and thanks for watching.